वाइट बोर्ड नजर आ रहा है आपको? अच्छा, we have tenses and intro. Let's say we can discuss about the like tenses introduction. So we can see there mostly in the, you can say, referral letter, right? We use the you can say present simple tense, right? Most of the time, but at time we can use past tense as well. Not necessary, but mostly past simple and present simple and present perfect can also be used. So it depend upon the condition. What I mean by the condition, let's say, how we can use the present simple tense. I am writing to refer maybe Mr. or Mrs. X, whose signs, symptoms are suggestive of diabetes mellitus full form for further management. So it's a present simple tense. I can also write down this letter. I am writing to refer Mr. X, okay, whatever the name is, who is having high blood pressure. Therefore, he would require your ongoing help, let's say, or management. So you can see that we do use the present or present perfect present continuous tense in the introduction. Also, we can write it down the past simple tense in case of discharge letter. Mostly, we are using the past simple tense for the sake of example. I am writing this letter of discharge, right? I am writing this letter of discharge regarding patient name who underwent, let's say, right hip replacement. Okay, let's say. So basically, if you can see that who underwent is past simple. The answer I would appreciate if you could further manage or follow up. That is something else. But majorly, we use the past simple tense in the discharge letter, right? Or maybe the future tense as well, who would require your expertise for the management of blah and blah. So depend upon the case, but just to give an idea, the tenses are important in OET. Now, in the body of the letter, depending upon the case note gravity, we can write it down. If you are writing the social history or the past medical history, depend upon the case. Normally, the social history are, let's say, habits. So habits are mostly written in the simple form, right? Habits are mostly written in the simple form, but we can also write down the past tense if it's related to the past event, or maybe we can use in the perfect form, right? So hobbies. Let's say he is a smoker and drinker. Now this is your present simple tense. We can also write down he has had diabetes for the last blah blah years, right? So basically, if you can see there, we have these things maybe that can be helpful for you to make your ground up while writing the socio-economic paragraph. Where we would write down social history and past medical history in any type of letter that depend upon the gravity of that information organization. If it's so important to be written in priority, like this is intro and this is your social history, if it's relevant and important, we can write it down. But if it's not important, so we will write somewhere below where it is appropriate. As long as your letter has clear focus. Focus mean why you are writing this letter. Anyhow, so rest of the paragraph minus discharge plan. Let's say this is your discharge plan and minus your today visit. Let's say we are not going to this one. Rest of the letter body. we can write overall in a broader spectrum, I can say in past simple. This is not a rule, but in a broader spectrum, make you understand. I can write down the whole stay. So, in case of the short plan, maybe the word stay can be written in the past simple in total, right? Maybe the nursing management, past simple, right? Maybe the rehabilitation, past simple. In case of referral letter, let's say if we have multiple visits like one, two, three, and minus today, as I mentioned, so these three visits can be written in the past simple tense, right? One of the approach. However, in the discharge letter, if it's a word stay, in case of discharge letter, right? In case of discharge letter, it's a word stay, and in case of referral letter, if we have three visits, if we have to make a comparison between near past and far past, right? If we have to make a comparison between near past and far past, right? So we can use different sentences. Let's say, let's say if you are writing a letter of discharge and in the ward stay, you have to make a comparison between two events. Maybe the patient was having low HB, right? And you have transfused the blood, right? And HB improved. So maybe if you want to write it down this event, so we can write it down this event with the far past tense, like past perfect. And this event can be written in the near past, like past simple. Okay. So basically, when we have to differentiate two events in the past, when we have to differentiate two events in the past, we can basically write it down those events in the past perfect. Let's say he had low HB after his surgery. Consequently, he was transfused, let's say, 3 pack of blood. So these two events are from the past, right? But you can see there what we have done. He had low HB. It's late that you're writing in the far past, right? After his surgery. Consequently, this is a clarity device or the cohesive device that will make it more clear. He was transfused. For the consequences of this, he was transfused 3 pack of blood. So past simple. So although when we have to differentiate two events in the past, the first one was far past and second one was in the near past, we can use these two tenses together. Okay. Similarly, even if it's a referral letter or discharge letter, the concept will remain the same. Is it clear to you? We can use the past simple, past perfect together. And yes, we can also use the present perfect continuous if the event is continuous. For example, we can write it down over a period of, in the body of the letter, maybe 10 days, right? His ward stay, yeah, his he has shown improvement in the hospital. Although it was something from the past, but we are writing in reference to present. In reference to present, something started in the ward, then directly we are writing, and condition improved in today visit. So we can just write down our course of his ward stay, which constitutes of 10 days, right? His condition has improved. So now you can see we have used has, present perfect tense. So depending upon the situation, you can use different tenses at different places, as per the case notes. I hope the things are clear to you now. Now we are going to discuss about the discharge letter, discharge plan. If we have a discharge plan, what should be done for discharge plan? So normally discharge plan are instructions, right? Whoever is writing to whoever, discharge plan are normally instruction. Either if these are recommendation, okay. So still we need to be polite and we need to use the conditional language. For example, it would be appropriate if you could. I would appreciate if you could. It would be in the better interest of the patient if you could ensure. So, with a polite language, I would recommend you if you could evaluate the patient regarding the need of, let's say, whatever, whatever. So the language will remain polite. Generally speaking, we can see that the sharp line should be written in the future tense. But as we cannot use the will in the letter because the language will be harsh, so we are using would, and along with would we can also use could to balance the sentence. Right? Now you can see that the sharp plan has been written in the will be written in the actually conditional language most of the time. Similarly, for today visit in the referral letter, we can see that it can also be written in the past simple. Today he presented to my clinic with blah blah thing. Today his blood pressure was higher. Let's say today can also be written with the present perfect tense, right? And perfect continuous as well. Depends. His condition has improved. Let's say you can also write in the today visit. Okay. And similarly for Korean, we use the conditional language with politeness, right? I hope the things are clear to you now. You want to ask any question? Let's say sentences. First of all, let me clarify one thing. This is very brief overview of sentences. We are not going to go in the details. So this is very brief overview. Let's say. So, so in the OET writing, we have to have the mastery in simple sentences, compound, and complex, right? Three sentences. Try to make your letter as simple as you can with reference to vocabulary and the clarity. But still, what is simple sentence? Let's say he is a smoker. It's a simple sentence, right? He is a drinker. It's your simple sentence. So we can write it down together. He is a smoker and a drinker, right? So to make it a compound sentence with the help of conjunction, conjunction may we have and, but, not, so, yet, and so on. So when we have to combine two similar group together, we can use compound sentence. And similarly, complex sentence, we have one dependent and independent clause. Let's say, although he he took, let's say, painkiller, his pain did not improve. This is an example of your complex sentence. So the first clause, it was your dependent clause, and the second one was independent clause. This one. So as a rule, if you use dependent first and independent afterward, we have to put comma over here, right? Okay. So in terms of complex sentences, when we are talking about a complex sentences, we have different clauses which include clause of contrast, clause of purpose, and clause of reason, right? So it would be appropriate if you can use those clauses in your writing task. So what we have, if we have two things in contrast where you are going to use but over here, as I gave you an example, let's say although if he had been on physio for 4 months, let's say his range of motion did not improve. So first of all, it will be a clear idea to understand that how would you apply clauses. This was a clause of contrast, and in term of grammar, I have used the past perfect continuous along with past simple because this was far past even it was near past. Although he had been on physio for 4 months, his range of motion did not improve. Right. Similarly, we can also write down the clause of contrast with this one, despite, right? Despite, let's say, his wound was dressed on regular basis, he developed infection. So it's again a contrast. Despite his wound was dressed on regular basis, he developed infection. That means I have used this thing in the same tense. I can change it. Despite his wound had been dressed on regular basis, he developed infection, right? Or if you're writing in the present tense, so we can write down even though his pressure source has been dressed, his, let's say, even though his pressure source has been dressed on daily basis, source size has increased, let's say. So we can see that we can use the different clauses in different tenses, right? So similarly, the purpose clause, in order to relieve his pain, he was given painkiller. And vice versa, for the purpose clause, we can write it down. Let's say he was given painkiller so that, or in order to, his pain could be relieved, right? So these are example of purpose clause that you can use. And reason clause, let's say due to intense chest pain, he was admitted in emergency department, right? Similarly, uh, because of internal bleeding, he has been, yeah, he was referred to the emergency department. So you can see that we can. So this is an overview of the grammar with referential tenses and sentences we use. Although you can say that the rules can be discussed for the grammar as well. For you can say present simple for first person, sorry, for third person singular. We can use s or es with the first form of the verb, like in the present simple tense. Okay. And for the past simple, we can use second form of the verb. For the present perfect, we can use third form with has and has been or have been with ing form in the present perfect tense, right? General rule that we can discuss in your grammar portion. Anyhow, the use of articles, where to use a, and the. When we have a countable noun, and if it's singular, when we have a countable noun and if it's singular, we can use the article a with that, and if it's give you vowel sound, we can use and with that. Let's say he presented with a complaint of pain in his shoulder. He presented with a lump. So you can see if it's countable, we can use R for that. And if it's uncountable, if it's countable and if you all sound, you can use and. Let's say his he has symptoms suggestive of an early bowel obstruction. Similarly, an MRI was advised. An X-ray was advised. We can use that. Let's say if we have an for that, we can use and before that, if it's singular and countable. We have to use the definite article when we have to specify something, right? Specify mean like when you have to highlight. Let's say he has pain in the right shoulder, right? AMNOM sound like vowel, ठीक है? जो आपको vowel sound देता है, जैसे कि आप लिखते हैं ना, he has been waiting for an hour, and we are using. You can see that he has been waiting for me for an hour. So we are using an with H, right? Why? Because the sound of vowel, right? Whatever will give you the vowel sound, right? Is it clear to you? Hello? Yeah. But whatever will give you vowel sound, we have to use an. Am I right? A and basically it sound like M from A. We cannot use an with university because it will give you Y sound. So we cannot use an. We use our university, right? Is it clear to you? If you like to ask any question over here.